What is up, party people? Welcome back to the Galactic Court podcast. We're here for another week, another episode, and I think it's going to be a bit of a banger this week, to be fair. Not only because I've got one of the greatest guests that's ever graced a podcast, but also because we've actually got a great subject to talk about. But first and foremost, if you're not already, why are you not following Galactic Court podcast online? YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, wherever you like your social media, wherever you like your podcasts, jump on, give the Galactic podcast a follow, and get to it. Loads of great episodes. The anniversary episode a few months back, which was absolutely amazing. 5 different podcasts in one place. Some of my favourites going back to last year, the May the 4th special episode with Dave from Wiser City. So it was probably my top episode, actually, in terms of my favourite of covering the best Star Wars scenes that there ever were. So some great previous episodes, all the way back to nearly 2.5 years ago now. So make sure you're jumping on there, catch up with everything, and then make sure you're following for future episodes. Fantastic Four's out this week coming as well, so that's going to be an absolute banger of an episode, and I've got a brand new guest that's going to be coming on for that episode that's never been on the show before, so that'll be nice, since I tend to have the same rotation of guests a lot of the time, but that is no issue whatsoever, and we've got one of the best returning guests here in the crowd tonight. Please welcome to the show, you know him, you love him, it's Clan Brandalorian. How are we doing, buddy?
Doing great. We are here to talk some freaking Star Wars today, of course, so I'm always excited for that. Yeah, I'm really just floating today, I will say. You know I'm not doing too well today, but hey, I wouldn't miss this if I had to. So, yeah, we're chilling. We got the fan on, we got the water on. Went to a wedding last night. Everyone who's confused, it's been a long day. So, we are here to talk Star Wars, so make sure you guys let us know in the chat what some of your favorite Star Wars series are. So let us know.
Yeah, we should have pointed that out, that you're not feeling bad for like a bad reason, so to speak. You went out and had a good time last night, celebrate your friend's wedding. So at least it's that. It's not like you're down dirty with any diseases or anything. We should point that out. You're a clean boy.
Yes, absolutely. Hopefully not.
We are here, of course, to chat about Star Wars TV shows. We're going to do a full ranking list, 13 shows, ranking 13 down to 1. But before we do that, Brandon, just let everyone know exactly where they can find Clan Mandalorian online.
Yes, everything Clan Brandalorian, just right here, the @ sign on my name right here. Go follow that. Really close to 1,000 followers on Instagram. Really close to 700 on YouTube. So come be one of the growing people. But yeah, everything Star Wars, lore, theories, Funko, Lego, all that in between. I mean, obviously got a lot of the plastic behind me. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and gifts gone into those. So always love to talk and show those off. So yeah, if you have any crazy Star Wars theories, any crazy lore, moments. I mean, what's cool is really on my channel, I feel like I learn a lot. I don't have to sit there and be like, oh, this is why Star Wars is great. And it's like, oh, damn, everyone's showing me different ways of why Star Wars is great. And that's kind of what I strive to do. So yeah, if you're into Star Wars and that sort of nature, come on by. Super chill. Andy's been on numerous times. It would be dumb if I was like, yeah, he's been on 12 times, because he's been on a lot more than that. So yeah, come check us out, Clan Brandalorian.
Nice. Picked up anything good for the collection recently? Lego pops or anything that's really, really hit the nose for you?
Yeah, I got the what's actually really cool is the my room's a mess right now. I got the Moff Gideon battle on. What is it? Battle on? Moff Gideon Paz Vizsla battle from Mando 3. So this is like a really cool set. But what is even cooler about this is it's a $40 set, but during Target Circle Days, it was on sale for $15 at checkout. So
lovely.
Grabbed one with no hesitation. Picked up some custom minifigures, which is actually kind of crazy. It's not really my cup of tea. I like actual Lego. But here's some super battle droids, and they're chrome.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, they look pretty cool. And then kind of rearranged some of the minifigs, but I did also pick up the Ahsoka, the Battle on Peridia Lego set. It's not the best looking set because it's really just a gray slab of Lego, and then it has like the black pillars with the Galaxy Peridia logo on it. So those are really cool, and the minifigs are awesome. So finally have a Thrawn minifigure. Finally,
Yay!
So
Lovely.
It's upstairs in box, so not out of box yet, but you'll see it soon.
And you're pretty deep into season 2 of the Clan Mandalorian podcast as well, aren't you?
Yep, the last episode actually comes out this week of the season. So
beautiful.
Yeah, insane.
And anything else coming up soon? Any more After Dark or anything like that coming?
After Dark's been actually crazy, and you asked me if I've been tired from work or anything, but I kind of lied because that's kind of the reason why I don't do it as often. Because like I usually do it after my Thursday night shift, and I get home and I'm just like, wow, bed sounds great, So I go to bed, but I might bring that back soon. Kind of figure something out there. The Lego group, the Cantina Chaos, you guys go follow them as well. We've been doing lots of Lego photography, some live streams every now and again. So might have some of them on late at night because most of them are still like in my time zone. If not, so yeah, hopefully After Dark comes back quicker rather than later. So
I'm always hoping to catch you because you, amongst some other of my favorite podcasters, obviously the time difference between us is like 6 to 8 hours, depending on the podcast and the time zone. So it's always normally like one of my other favorite shows. They generally go on at like 7 o'clock EST, and that's like 3 a.m. for me. So I'm never going to catch them at that time. Now, not that now our babies are older, I'm not up in the middle of the night anymore. So it's kind of like I was like, oh, Brandon's doing like a midnight showing at 6 a.m. I'm probably going to be up then. So I was like, damn, I need to be. So it's not. It's after light for me technically. It's supposed to after dark, but
yeah.
But hopefully we'll get to see that back soon. Obviously, sleep is a priority, to be fair, for both of us right now, so we need to take its precedence. I want to show off a quick something. I know that you've seen it, and it is humming in the background behind me, glinting in the reflection. But it's just arrived after a year of waiting, so let me just grab it because I want to have a quick show off of it.
And I am more than thrilled to see this thing. Sometimes just seeing this just makes me so mad all over again. It's like it's last summer.
It was, and the reason I got so annoyed about it is because they dropped that this was going to be coming out. They dropped and said, "Oh, something like 25th of July, 2024." And I was like, "Cool, that's 2 weeks' time. I'm stoked. Let me get and order it straight away." And then ordered it, and a few days later they sent an email out going, "Our mistake on the delivery date. It's supposed to be 2025, not 2024." So I cancelled my order, going, "I'm not going to wait a year for this. If it's still around there when it comes out, then I might grab it." And then about 2 weeks after that, I was like, "Oh, I'm probably not going to have any money in a year's time, so let me just pre-order it now and just make sure I get it anyway." But it's finally arrived. It is the Stranger helmet from the Acolyte.
It's so perfect. It is so perfect. And there's so much. You can kind of get like the Vader helmet like appeal. You kind of get Kylo Ren's helmet appeal. It's just one of the best helmets, if not after Vader. It's just amazing. It's one of the best things from Star Wars. Beautiful.
It fits quite snugly as well. There's like an automatic light in it as well that comes on for display purposes. I think it doesn't really. I don't think I can really. Bit weird, and it sort of shows up on one side, but because I've got the main lights on, it's not going to show up. But still, it's pretty fucking sick because it's just like a horror mask. It's like doesn't even look Star Wars-ish. There is obviously hints of Star Wars in it in terms of like the visor and stuff like that. But even still, it was just so out the blue when we saw it that it's just not anything like we've seen in Star Wars. So I'm glad I decided to keep it on order. To be fair, in the end, and get that bad boy. So really there cool. It is, beautiful. Beautiful little bad boy just there.
Love it.
And that's probably going to be the last edition I get for a while because I'm absolutely fucking broke. So.
Feel that. Yeah, the Black Series helmets they can get up there in price, but I feel like relatively they're close, like 99 to like 140, 150.
Yeah,
US.
About the same for us in pounds, to be fair. So that was like I think £95.
Nice.
Which is about just over $100 maybe. And all of them have been fairly similar. I think the Rex one was a bit more expensive. I think the Rex was closer to about 125, 130. But apart from that, I can't complain at the price. Obviously, I've got loads of them. There's like you can't see all of them, but there's like obviously we've got Vader and the 501st at the top. You can see obviously Phase 2 Clone Trooper, Rex, Mando, Bo-Katan. Then we've got Death Watch helmet. Just next to it there is the Book of Boba Fett, or Mandalorian version of Boba Fett. I'm getting in the wrong way. And then underneath the stranger one under here is the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett helmet.
Very beautiful.
So it's I have to say though, the two Boba Fett ones are actually my wife's. They're not technically mine, but they fit in my collection, so that's where they're going to sit.
Yep, I got the rumored one too, so I like that one a lot.
Skywalking Ryan's stopping by. Happy Sunday, how's it going? I'm not doing too bad for a Sunday, to be fair, mate. It's if I remember correctly, you're UK based as well, so it's getting late on a Sunday for us, but always good time to be chatting Star Wars so we can chill out. Thanks for stopping by, appreciate that. But yeah, man, we are here to chat Star Wars TV shows and do our ranking. So was this a hard list for you to do? I mean, 13 shows, was it difficult or did you find it fairly easy?
Some were, I mean, of course, some were, a little more interesting than others. I feel like for the most part, I kind of got it down. I'm a little nervous because I might actually end up switching as we're talking. Yeah, I feel like everything's pretty set in stone.
I mean, I only found it difficult really when I got to like the top 4, the order. I wanted to put them in. Because I was umming and ahhing and I was just taking it into account. So I think, yeah, like 13 to 5 was fairly easy for me. And then it was just top 4 was like, what order do I put this in? Because basically I sat down yesterday and did some I say admin, but I basically did a whole load of ranking lists. Just my wife just saying, surprised you admitted that they're mine when she's talking about the Boba Fett helmets. Well, credit where credit's due. They're not mine. So what difference does it make? And then Hal Rudder Base, what's up? Well, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. We're all doing good.
Thanks for sliding by.
I know these are all Brandon's followers, not mine. Don't worry. But yeah, so I sat down the other day and I did yesterday.
Follow him.
I did like a Star Wars TV ranking list. I did the film ranking list. I did like a Marvel Cinematic Universe ranking list for TV shows and films as well. And I did like a ranking list for my top 5 films outside of fandom as well. So it was just for future episodes and stuff. But since I knew we were coming up to do this one, so that's important to get the TV show list though. So let's kick us off then. I'll start off with number 13 on my list just because, to be honest, it's the only Star Wars TV show I think is absolute trash. Star Wars Resistance slots in at 13 for me. Simply because it is just... I know it's probably not really designed... I mean, you can watch it as adults, but again, it's probably not wholly designed for us. But at the same point, it is not the best thing that Star Wars has put out, so it slots in easily at the bottom for me. What have you got at number 13?
Yeah, we'll go with Resistance. I can't really trash on it too much because I've only seen probably like 10 total episodes. But I mean, I didn't continue it for reasons. Yeah, I do. I think I like the timeline where it's at. At least that's something I can pull from it. But yeah, no, that's definitely at the last of everything that we have here on the list. So.
I mean, you got some decent, obviously, mainstream characters show up, like Poe Dameron, BB-8, Chewbacca, Kylo Ren, Captain Phasma. Excuse me, but still, it's just if you're watching it as like a thing, it's just not that great. So it just slots in quite easily at the bottom. What have you got at number 12?
Okay, number 12 right here. This is where I told you it could bounce up and down a little bit. But I'm going with Visions.
Okay.
I don't. It's not that it's bad because I think it's a really cool thing that we have different anime studios, big names, smaller studios, kind of coming in and giving their little Star Wars stories, which is always amazing. Love to see it. I kind of look at it as a what if series that we have for Star Wars. Some of it's canon, some of it's not. But for the most part, it just seems like they're just all random adaptations. But I will say I don't really like how anime looks in that sense. I absolutely love Dragon Ball Z growing up though. So that'll forever get praise for me. But I ended up trying to rewatch Dragon Ball Z and I couldn't do it. And I think it's just how it looks, I think there's a lot of like cool, surrounding things with anime, but not, for me, it's just not my favorite. So go at number 12. Number 12 there.
That's fair enough. I mean, I'm not a huge anime fan myself, so I can understand where you're coming from. But I've got a different one in at number 12 myself. I don't think this is necessarily it's bad because when you put something second to bottom, it sounds like you think it is a bad show. But
Right.
again, I think with a lot of these shows, like I said, from like the Resistance, I definitely put bottom because I don't think it's great. But from like 12 to like 6 or 5 on my list, you could easily maybe swap a lot of these around and it would be all along a similar path. So I don't think the show is bad, but it's definitely not up there as one of my favorites or what I think is the best. But number 12, Skeleton Crew. It doesn't seem to have much relevance to the Star Wars universe right now, even though we found out from the updated galactic map that was released recently that Atatin, for the main planet from the show, is right next to Dathomir. They're like neighbours, so maybe that's going to play a part in things going forward, especially with Thrawn and the Great Mothers now back on Dathomir. So maybe that's going to play a part to go. But for me, it didn't hit the heights that I wanted it to, and whilst there were some nice hints in there and stuff, it just didn't quite interconnect to the same either. I don't know where they're going with that story. It feels like a very separate story from the Star Wars universe right now for me. So that's why it's down there at that spot.
Yeah, I get that. I think it is really cool that Atten and Dathomir are right next door. I was talking with a guy who loves Star Wars, and he was telling me that he's like, could you imagine if Thrawn gets there and uses all of the credits to fund, the Empire? Which in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, there's no chance that they're not doing that. That's just definitely a Thrawn thing. So
very popular theory right now, to be fair. Let's hit number 11 then. So at number 11, I've got the Tales of the series. Obviously there's multiple series now, and the only reason it's this low down is I think it's missed more than it's hit, to be fair, in terms of the stories. I don't think some of the characters they've picked have been the right ones to go with, but some of it's absolutely slapped. I think Tales of the Jedi was probably by far the best one they did, the Ahsoka and Dooku series. But yeah, I know obviously they've done it's only 2 series they've done, to be fair, Jedi and then Empire, or am I missing one?
Underworld too.
Underworld, yeah. So, Tales of the Empire was underwhelming, for me. So that didn't really hit the way it needed to, and the choice of characters was strange for me. Nice to see an ending of story for oh God, what's her name? The Jedi. The other one. That's it. I don't know why my memory's gone. Barasofi. Nice to see an ending story for her, but not the ending I would have picked for her either, to be fair. And then who wanted really the background story of Morgan Elsbeth? I don't think we were that into her that much that we needed that. And then Tales of the Underworld, it was good, but it was hit and miss for me. Good to see Ventress back. I liked to see the continuation of her story. That was good. The Cad Bane one was up and down for me. I thought it could have been better, but at the same point, we like Cad Bane as a character, do we not? So for me, it's been very hit and miss. Is why it slots in at number 11 for me. But so, what have you got, Brandon, in at number 11?
Yeah, those are all really good points because I agree with a lot of them. I will say, for me though, and it's not even. It's just listing reasons, guys. I do enjoy the show, but it just isn't better than most. So, Skeleton Crew. It was really fun, and actually Andy and I broke it down. If any of you seen this or watching this back, if you remember, Andy and I broke down every single episode, and it was a super fun time, and I feel like those actually hit off pretty well for viewership. So yeah, it was a good time, and that's something I always put with these shows. Just real quick, is just like what's going on at the time. You know, is it summertime? Is it wintertime when these shows come out? Kind of the aura around it, you know, just kind of personal things in life where it's just like, yeah, this was going on when this came out. So really cool. That's why one show is really high for me, is just simply because of the nostalgia value it gives. But yeah, Skeleton Crew is great. I think I mean, so far, and you said it perfectly, you know, it's not too massive with the storyline yet, and it's really not. Really cool characters. The kids are great. You know, felt like, you know, we were watching a younger childhood movie. It was good time. Jod pissed me off a lot at times, until, you know, you kind of find out his true motives, and it's like, oh yeah, I mean, that's just how he is. And yeah, it was cool. It was homey. I have only watched it one time through, so maybe if I watch it a second time, I will feel a little better about
Hmm. What have you got at number 10?
it. Okay, number 10, I have the Tales of the series. So kind of like you said as well, I do enjoy these. I think Morgan Elsbeth is a really cool character. I am more just surprised at the fact that she actually has a little arc. Really cool
Hmm.
though. I thought it was really cool to see Grievous. I thought it was cool to see more Night Sisters. I mean, she's the Night Sisters are really cool. Dathomir is awesome, which we're gonna get more of that live action, which I'm even more excited for. And I mean, also I'm a huge, the Crow fan, and so that with Brandon Lee being Bruce Lee's son, Diana Lee Santo, who plays Morgan Elsbeth, is Bruce Lee's goddaughter. So that's really cool. She has the family ties. Very talented actress. So yeah, I think it's really cool. I didn't like Barriss Offee as a character. Still don't. I didn't care for her in the Clone Wars, so her story was kind of boring to me. Ahsoka was okay. There's a couple moments where it's like, oh, okay, I can see what Filoni did here. Just like, yeah, let's get some more, backstories with Anakin. Dooku's was great. I mean, the 12-second clip of us getting him wiping the archives of Camino literally answered questions I had back in 2002. So I'm like 5 years old. Like, where are these archives? And it's finally cool to see how that comes to to light. So yeah, really cool. Tales of the Underworld, though, for personal reasons, is probably my favorite because I feel like it's just setting up more to where I can see my glorious king Quinlan Vos. So
Starting to look
really
more and more like him every week, I swear.
Dude, I know people need to quit commenting that I should be the live action one because I've always wanted to be in a movie, and don't let this be the first time, guys. But yeah, I love him coming back. Dark Disciple is my favorite Star Wars book, really the only Star Wars book I've read, but it's just one that's so good, and just getting to see glimpses of that, seeing Ventress again is amazing. And Cad Bane, being the new dads that we are, fuck Cad Bane, he sucks. So I remember that was probably the only animation that actually kind of had some tears forming because I just felt some type of way. It was actually a really sad story all around, not just for Cad Bane being a deadbeat father, but it's just at the fact that I mean, he grew up shitty, and how everything kind of went full circle for him. And I mean, but Cad Bane's Cad Bane, awesome character, one of the best looking characters in my opinion. Like, I mean, a bounty hunting Duros, like, sign me up. Love it. Iconic.
I think the Batwinkle on Twitch was referring to you saying that you wanted to be in a movie because she says you're giving away your OnlyFans idea there of what you want to do. So,
I've always, with some of my work friends, we've always, talked about how, like, dude, someone out there in the market would absolutely love to watch me eat cereal in my underwear. We always just float that idea around, and it's like there's somebody out there who would literally go crazy for that.
just to go off topic,
put the stripe on
for a random second about that is so. I had this idea float to me a while ago because I read about this guy who, I'm not a small guy, I'm quite a big guy, quite chunky guy. But I read about this guy who's probably like 2, 3, 4 times my size, and he has an OnlyFans page where women pay him hundreds to thousands of pounds a month to just sit there topless eating takeaway. So he'll buy like a £50, so like a $60 Chinese takeaway, and just sit there topless, just record himself just shoveling it into his mouth, and then sells them the video, and they pay for it. He makes like £5,000 a month doing this on OnlyFans. His health is shot to pieces. He's going to die in like 2 days.
Yeah.
But he makes like thousands a month just doing topless eating videos because it's like a fetish for some women. I don't know what I'm doing. I should do that, to be fair. I'd quite happily do that. I'd sacrifice 10 years off my life if that got me rich.
Dude, that's crazy.
I'm pretty amazed, like, take my money.
Take it. That's hilarious. Yeah.
It's all right. We could do a joint video. Like, I could be like Jabba the Hutt, and you could be like one of the you could be like Quinlan Voss has come to tell him off, and we just sit and eat food instead.
I'm down. I got the yellow face paint up front. I'll just get the stripes going, a little forehead notches, and I'm ready. Let's go.
Cool. I'll put on like the slug tail. It's fine. We got it down. It's all good.
Oh yeah. Let's do it.
Anyway, back to the rankings list.
We don't have to be in the same room. It'll just be just like this, guys. So.
Yeah, that's cool. We can do that. It's fine. If I earn enough money for it, I'll come and do it side by side. It's fine. There is one thing I'm going to dispute about in Tales of the Jedi is the timeline with Dooku here. Because obviously, I always knew it was going to be him that wiped the Jedi archives, the information about Kamino. But I still dispute the whole fact that at the time when he was still part of the Jedi Order, he was working with Sidious already. Because there's a novel that says differently, and it's a Disney novel, so unless they, again, for about the 6th time, Disney have retconned their own canon, which they've done a few times, like I said, like 5-6 times they've done that now. Because in the book it said that after Dooku had left the Jedi Order after becoming disillusioned with the death of Qui-Gon, the way that they dealt with everything, the politics of it all, that he felt the presence of a powerful Sith out in the galaxy and spent years searching him out. That 10-year gap between episode 1 and 2, he spent like 6-7 years hunting down this Sith. And when he finds Sidious, he's then turned by him and joins him. So the fact that then they've retconned that now to be like at the end of episode 1, essentially, or during the events of episode 1, which means probably before the events of episode 1, he was already working with Sidious.
Yeah.
That to me doesn't strike right. It doesn't seem like the Dooku that we knew, especially given the story we already had for him. So I still dispute that timeline. I'm down with him killing off Yaddle. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there was an unofficial canon story, a pre-canon story that Yaddle had died in an off-world dispute between episodes 1 and 2, which is why we never saw her in episode 2. Mm-hmm. But obviously making it canon that she had followed Dooku, found out about him and Sidious, and Dooku killed her. I'm fine with that. I just dispute the timeline that Dooku was working with Sidious since before the events of episode 1. Just doesn't sit right with me. So I would dispute that to my grave. So, but anyway, let's move on. So number 10. And we've just got Malekith has also joined in the chat saying what's up, guys.
What up, my guy?
Seen this guy pop by our streams quite a few times, so good to see you, buddy. Thank you for stopping by.
Always there.
Number 10, I've got Visions in my 10th slot. I really enjoyed season 1 of Visions. I enjoyed probably about 3/4 of it quite a lot, especially the first opening episode where it's like the Ronin character.
So cool.
Where he's there with like his version of R2. He was like really, really cool.
Yeah.
It's like the main one that they've used because they made like a comic book showing what happened to him after that episode ended. He's been the one that's had like figures and pops made after him and stuff. So season 2 had some really good moments as well. I am looking forward to season 3. I quite enjoyed this. So for someone that isn't that into anime, I actually did quite enjoy this, and I'm happy that we got to see it. I mean, you said earlier that some of it's canon, some of it isn't. I thought all of it was non-canon. It was just their own stories that they got to make, and some of it's obviously inspired by the actual events of Star Wars, but I didn't think any of it was actually canon.
I think there was 1 or 2 stories that were canon. I could be wrong though. I knew it was just a couple. But yeah, for the most part, it's all non-canon.
But yeah, I've got that in at number 10. So we're breaking through into the top 10 after that then. So number 9, I have got The Bad Batch. It was one of those weird ones that we kind of wanted it, but we didn't at the same point. Like, it was a show that we kind of wanted, but no one really asked for. So if it never got made, I don't think I'd have been that bothered. My wife will kill me because she absolutely adores the Bad Batch. She's got like all the Bad Batch figures and stuff. But at the same point, like, I don't think I would have missed it if it never got made. I think like having their cameo appearance in early Clone Wars season 7 was. I could have lived with that, and that would have been it. But having had them, you've got to love some of them. Obviously, getting to see the continuation of Echo's story as well is always a blessing. After him being rescued at the start of season 7 of Clone Wars, so that's always a good part to it. It kind of annoys me that every story has to be wrapped up in a nice way, and this is what happened for the Bad Batch for the most part. Okay, they kind of lived out the most of the Galactic War on on an island, separated from the rest of the galaxy, and didn't really get involved until Omega decides to leave to be part of the rebellion as a pilot. But for the most part, like I was expecting more to be killed off in this series, and so for me it was okay. There were some good points, bad points. Some bits like could have been done better, some bits could have been stretched out more, some bits you didn't need, but for me that's what slots in on my number 9 spot. We've got Cole Cowan. What's up, boys? Love from Scotland. Nice to see you, buddy. This is the gent. I think I got confused with Skywalking Ryan earlier when I said that he was in the UK, because I remembered that there was someone that stopped by our streams quite a bit, and it was Cole that was there. So thank you, buddy. Thank you for showing the love from Scotland. And then my wife was like, "Tech was not a nice way." I didn't say that was a nice way. And he's still dead. He's not coming back. He's not alive. So get over it.
Felt that one. That was one of those. Speaking of anime with the tearjerkers that were animation, that was the one where I was just kind of like, "Oh, dude!" And I didn't see that coming. And I remember his like little pod racing episode where I was just kind of like, you knew something was gonna happen.
They gave him a spotlight.
Yeah, and it's like, yep, that's the old. That happens in film quite a bit, so you kind of expect it.
And this is where the arguing starts, because you can't get away with saying a comment like that to me. How dare you? How absolutely dare you? The sofa is where my wife's sleeping tonight, so enjoy that. And I'm stealing all the cushions as well, so it's not going to be comfortable.
Oh yeah.
You can't compare the two. Fives is miles above Tech in terms of a character, so don't even come at me with that bullshit. All right, don't get me riled up, for fuck's sake. Anyway, what have you got at number 9, Brandon?
Yep, Bad Batch. This is actually flip flopped with another one, and this was my first rearrangement in my list. My could be the only, but Bad Batch, really good. I feel like there was times in season 2 where it was really slow. The entire thing with Sid, it makes sense. Sid was a good shitty character. She made sense, but at times it's like, I hate you, so some of the episodes and missions from her we could have lived without. But yeah, Bad Batch I enjoyed. Ultimately, I absolutely loved how it all wrapped up, but I will say I wanted to see more. I think it was kind of weird how Ventress was kind of like brought in, and they like really focused on that, and especially in the trailer we're like, oh my god, what, like, how is she gonna fit in all this? So yeah, it was one of those things where it was very cool for fan service. Tech awesome, Wrecker awesome, Hunter, Echo, Crosshair is my favorite of the Bad Batch. But yeah, there's so many cool things, characters like Rampart that suck. He got his cards dealt, and I was satisfied. And damn, I feel so stupid. Who was the guy that was helping with Project Necromancer? Like the main guy in like season 3.
Oh god, yeah, the Doctor. Really, it's like, Insidious type character.
Yeah, he was a huge piece of shit too. So when he got offed at the end, I was like, thank you. That dude sucked. I think he has a very like not normal name, but a simple name in the Star Wars universe.
Just trying to look it up.
And also Palpatine too. Seeing Palpatine in the Bad Batch was amazing. You always feel him in the shadows, kind of just like Andor. You feel Palpatine's presence, and he's not even shown in the show. But Bad Batch was the same way until we did see him.
Hemlock.
Yes, yeah, he sucked.
There we go. Yeah, Cole said it for us. To be fair, I was too busy looking it up.
Yeah,
but
thank you, Cole.
But yeah, Sid is always a funny one for me now, because the levels of hate that Sid got after she turned them in was like everyone was talking about. She was on a par with Ponkrell now, so God. I don't think we can have that much hate for Sid as we do for Ponkrell. But it was funny to see that at the same time. But
yeah,
and Cole also saying, I love looking back when we all thought everyone would die in season 3, nobody did. Yeah, right? I was placing heavy bets on like only 1, maybe 2 of them surviving. Yeah. And being somewhere else.
Wrecker for sure. Crosshair 100%.
I would have sold my house at the time to have put bets on Crosshair dying, like the sacrifice play, the martyr of the group, and it just didn't happen. Everyone survives, apart from obviously Tech, and that's that. It was kind of, I hate happy endings to everything. Why has everything got to be a happy ending? In wars, people die. Too many main characters make it through stuff, and it pisses me off. Anyone that's listened to a lot of my Marvel stuff knows I fucking hate it when they all survive. It just makes no sense. A lot more of these people would die. But cool, it's fine. I'll let it go. Just like I'm not letting it go. How dare you say that Tech's death is on a par with Five's? I just stupid comments. Anyway, what have you got number 8, buddy?
Ooh, everybody chill with me. Star Wars Rebels. It is.
Oh my god!
It's not my favorite by any means, clearly, but I will explain myself. My first time watching it, I did not like the aspect of we're in trouble, and then by the end of the episode they're out and they're now getting into another another situation where there's trouble. They always get out of it. There's almost like nothing up until Ezra and Thrawn getting launched to Peridia. That was kind of more of the moments where it's like, oh shit, okay, that was real. You can't really come back from that. But I mean, I've now seen it 3 times through. Yes, I agree with that. I really, really love Ezra live action, though. I actually like him, how he's portrayed. Obviously, it's like what 10 years later from Rebels. 10 so years. So yeah, that makes it up huge for me. But I will say there's some of the best arcs in all of Star Wars in Rebels. So those are the episodes I'll watch the most. But I've actually now watched it 3 times through. And I like it a lot more than the first time. But overall, as a show and just for me and my personal likings, Rebels is at the 8th spot.
Yeah, 8, yeah. Wow, I don't know why I thought it was going to be a lot higher. I'll obviously get to my points when we get to it on my list, but yeah, for you, I was expecting it maybe a touch higher. So, number 8 for me comes in with the Book of Boba Fett. I said before that like 10, 11, even maybe up to like 6 or 5 on my list. A lot of these could be interchangeable. This is one of those ones that I was definitely in the middle pack for me. But it could have been 9, it could have been 7, to be fair. It could have been either of any of those slots. Good to get a continuation of Boba Fett's story. Yep, I have to agree with everyone that when everyone's like that general consensus of the fact that it wasn't like the Boba Fett we necessarily wanted to see. We wanted to see that like that badass bounty hunter, the reason he was the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy during the original trilogy. We wanted to see that Boba Fett. But character progression, him coming out of it and growing as a person as well. Yep, okay, he still kills a lot of people and he's taken over territory as a gangster, so to speak. But he also wants to rule in a different way. And it's just one of those ones that it wasn't quite on the nose for me, but I still really enjoyed it. Obviously, there was a little what was it, Mando 2.5 story in there at the same point, which in a weird way elevates the series, but it had nothing to do with him at the same point. When you dedicate an entire episode of your show to someone else's story, just to show the reasons why he then and Grogu show up later in your story.
The thing I can add to that too is it's like I always thought like, okay, it's called the Book of Boba Fett. This is literally the Mandalorian, but this is just like Boba's little sideshow. It's kind of like Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon. He gets his own spinoff, but then the second season is called the Book of Carol, but it is the Daryl Dixon spinoff, the spinoff of The Walking Dead. So that's kind of how I looked at it. Hence also the name Book of Boba Fett, Book of Carol. But the thing too is I was just like, yeah, it's just a little spinoff of a spinoff. But Tim Morrison was like, he's like, why can't I get my own show, and then like, especially like with Ahsoka season 2 celebration, he's like, what, she gets another season? What about Boba Fett? What about me? Which, I mean, he's just a funny guy. And plus he will say anything he wants to say, which I always respect that of him. So, but yeah, I mean, I get that 100%. It's definitely like a Mando season 2.5.
We got Fett retirement home was the idea of the plot of the story, and
Yeah.
it was better Fett rather than Boba Fett. To be fair, I mean, I'm going to say it now, but obviously the upcoming Thrawn film that's going to wrap up the whole Mando, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, Boba Fett storyline timeline. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
I. Just like I placed a bet on Crosshair being the one to die in Bad Batch, I would place money on Boba Fett dying in that film.
God, Boba
Simply
Fett
because
dying.
I think they want to find a way for him to go out that's going to be graceful and like and worthy, and I think
Yeah.
helping to take down Thrawn and the Empire remnants and the Dark Council could be a good way for them to let go of Fett.
Yeah, I think that would be great. I One thing that could be really cool is if somehow, dude, God, this is so awesome. Okay, so I just had this idea of maybe somehow, some way they're on Mandalore fighting against Thrawn, maybe a battalion, whatever sort of Imperial remnants come up with Thrawn as well when they're fighting, right? I think would be really cool is if we and this would be nothing but fan service, but if Boba Fett was on Mandalore fighting, and you just get those flashbacks to like Django fighting
Hmm.
on Mandalore way back in the day, during the wars and stuff, and it just kind of flashes back and forth, and then maybe like there's just some fatal blow, or here comes a mythosaur or something, and Boba dies. Like, I think that would be a really cool kind of like full circle moment, because Boba can finally live the armor, like in the
Mm.
armor that was made there, and made for his father. That'd be a really cool thing. I think that'd be awesome.
You want to see like Boba Fett riding his Rancor alongside Bo-Katan riding a Mythosaur?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
not gonna happen ever, but how
Yeah.
fucking badass would that be?
It's like, how did you get this Rancor here? And he should be bigger by then. He was only a puppy
Mm.
in Book of Boba Fett.
Cole saying, "What I feel like Bob and Mando are going together in the Thrawn film."
Uh,
Ooh. I don't think Mando will. To be honest, they're making too much money from that right now to kill him off.
Dude, well, I mean,
They'll let him live a happy life.
he's almost died 19 other times, and
Yeah,
I could just see it. I could see it.
maybe,
It's like,
maybe. We also had a comment from Heroic Bricks Studios. Just finished Andor season 2 this morning. Oh my god, it was good. Well, we've still got Andor to go on our lists, so I'm sure we'll be talking about that shortly.
yeah. Hell yeah. Thanks for chiming in, too.
I was also saying, I feel like Disney will axe Boba soon, though. Unnecessary wokeness. Through unnecessary wokeness, sorry. Well, I think they're going to let him go down in a blaze of glory. I mean, Tamora Morrison is obviously, Georgia expected the actor, getting on a bit. I don't know how much longer they want to plough Boba Fett, to be fair. I think they want to leave him with a certain amount of good legacy as a character, and what better way than go down in a blaze of glory? Just slamming Slave One into Thrawn's ship or something to kill him off and sacrifice himself at the same point. Let's move on then to number 7 in the list. I've got the Acolyte in at number 7. Obviously, we're not going to talk about the controversy behind it. I want to keep it as positive as possible today. We know there's controversy behind this, but it did still have some really good moments. Whilst it wasn't the Sith story that they told us it was going to be, it still paints the Jedi in a far less than perfect light, which I quite like. Obviously, everyone knows I'm a Sith boy, and so I would take bad mouthing the Jedi at any point. Plus, obviously, they gave us one of the most badass characters. We've already seen his helmet, but Khmer the Stranger, including obviously some of the most badass episodes that we've seen in Star Wars for combat as well. Taking out 7 Jedi in one episode is fucking unseen in live action modern Star Wars or in any canon Star Wars on screen. So,
Yep,
absolutely real. That's what I've got at number 7. What have you got in that 7 spot?
Yep, I got the Acolyte as well. I will say I just watched it all the way through again for the 3rd time, start to finish, earlier this week, and I will say it wasn't as clunky as I remember. I feel like at times like even the beginning of like episode 4, how slow it was, and just kind of leads up to Chimera pushing everyone, and it's like, oh my god, what's next week? Yeah, I mean, episode 5 is probably one of the best episodes in all of Star Wars television. I mean, we've never
Sick.
seen that before. It was epic. I mean, you get to see that raw, untamed dark side force using. Like, I mean, we've never seen that before. Chimere is a badass. He's probably 10 on my list for Star Wars characters, and he doesn't even have that much of time. It's just the way he looks, the way he the way Manny Jacinto portrays him. I just think it's really good, and I just really hope that we get more of Chimere. I mean, you can lose me with the twins, the
Yeah.
witches, even the Jedi at the time. I more and more that I've been doing Star Wars content, dude, the Jedi suck. I always took their back until kind of picking brains with people like you and other people, but it's just like, dude, like the Jedi suck, and
They really
you
do.
see that kind of at the end of the Acolyte. I mean, even Mother Anastasia said that a Jedi will make this whole thing just crumble to pieces for how the way they are, and it's just like, yeah, that happened. So yeah, I just think there's really, really good things to pull from the Acolyte. But with the 6 other shows here, I have it at the 7th spot.
And the Batwinker saying she'd love to watch an edit without the twins in it. Fair. I think if we lost the twins, I wouldn't be that bothered. I'd be quite happy just to have a season 2 would be just, if you just give me Chimere and Plagueis, I think I'd probably be one of the happiest guys around, to be fair. So, well, we're into the top 6, where some of the biggest hitters left still to come. Obviously, probably expected to be sort of the biggest hits left. But let's just take a 2-minute break, simply because I actually really need to pee and I want to get some fresh water. So let's just take a quick 2-minute break, and then we'll be back on it. Okay, see you in 2 minutes. What up? We're back into it. I had a nice coffee just as we started and drank my entire glass of water, and so I was like, I need to pee. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, coffee will get you.
And let's just catch up with some comments we got then. We've got Soundwave Superior. Andor is good, but I think it's overrated considering, yes. I should admit it's one of the best things Disney era produced, but is it good in general? He doesn't think so. What do we think about it? Well, we're going to get into that when we hit on it on our rankings list. So we can definitely have a bit more of a chat about it then.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can get through these top 6 then. So what have you got on your number 6 list?
All right, number 6, we have, I don't know if anyone would guess it, but we have the Book of Boba Fett. It hurts. Damn it, it hurts. Book of Boba Fett is one of my favorite shows. Obviously, we've gone through 13, and it's in the top half. But that was the show I was talking about earlier, where the time it came out, if I didn't stay up till 2 a.m. to watch it, I would watch it the next morning, get a nice cup of coffee going, just sit back, and then of course when my wife would get home from work, we would then watch the episode so she could see it and I'd get to rewatch it. So really, it was a good homey series. I thought it was really good. At some point, especially when Mando came back, you're kind of like, wait a second, what? And I love how in those episodes Boba is just at the end. So pretty funny. But I enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, it's at the 6th spot. Cool. And I will defend Boba Fett. No. What it is he has the thick Tuscan cloth underneath his armor, guys. It's not Boba Fett. He's not fat. He has layers on, guys. You would look the same too if you had some Tuscan robes on and some Mandalorian armor. Probably wouldn't fit, to be realistic. To be realistic.
That's my excuse from now on. I'm not fat. I'm just underneath my t-shirt is just some Tuscan robes and my Mandalorian armor. That's what it is.
Tuscan armor.
So in at number 6, I have Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Ooh.
A good series. Is it absolute top level? I don't quite think so. I think it was good. I think from here on out we are hitting the big hitters. I do think it was a good show, to be fair, when I think about it. I don't think that I had too many complaints. I just don't think it quite hits the top tier, even though to me like Hayden Christensen back both as Anakin and as Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Darth Vader was brutal in this show. That scene where he arrives on the planet and he just drags that person with the Force down, snaps that person's neck. It's absolutely savage.
To say the least.
Yeah, and obviously the flashbacks to like episode 2 era. Although funny, I thought they might have used a bit of like CGI on Hayden's face to make him look not like a 40-year-old playing a 20-year-old. But it was still great. And obviously the like as much as I think they maybe almost turned Kenobi. Obviously, jokes about him being like Star Wars Jesus, but they almost made him like rise from the dead in this show in terms of like his abilities coming stronger back out of nowhere and able to defeat what is technically a prime Vader at this point. Like 30-year-old Anakin
Luke and young Leia will do that to you. It'll just make you out of the place.
I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of Reva, to be fair. And then some of the young Luke and some of the young Leia stuff, the bit where she's running in the forest and the bounty hunters are running after her is going to go down as one of the most hilarious things in history. It's like, come on, you let a 9-year-old girl outrun you. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
But it like a lot of the people in the comments saying Kenobi was good, but it had so much more potential. That's why to me it sits at number 6. That's why it sits down there for me. So, let's hit on then top 5 for me. Number 5, Ahsoka. Simply because it's only really had one season. It doesn't have room to tell its full potential story yet. We know we're getting season 2 on the way. Does it get season 3? Maybe not. That's going to be in the balance. But again, it's one of those ones that had a lot of potential and doesn't always hit. To me, they kind of tried to rewrite what the Force is in this as well. I'm one of those people that doesn't agree with the Sabine Wren being Force sensitive. I'm in that camp. I wasn't sure about that when the series came out and when I covered it. So to me, it's still a good show, though. I mean, obviously, again, the return of Hayden Christensen as Anakin, the Clone Wars flashbacks in the World Between Worlds, the transitions in those of like between Anakin and Vader and there, it was absolutely beautiful. And then obviously getting to another galaxy, the return of Thrawn and his army, the Night Sisters, all of those parts are absolutely beautiful. Obviously Ezra, all this time on, Hera and Chopper, even the C-3PO cameo was great, to be fair. So to me it is Rebels season 5 for me. It just has that obviously feel about it, and it is a continuation of Dave Filoni's inability to let his own characters go. Ahsoka was one of those ones that in Clone Wars she started off as a pretty hated character. No one liked her. Why is Anakin Skywalker an apprentice that no one knew anything about? And she's turned into one of the most I was in the same camp, buddy. And she's turned into one of the most beloved characters in all of Star Wars. But at the same point, I worry with Dave Filoni just floundering his continued characters all the time. So it's that's why it sits number 5 for me. It's only had one series, though some bits about it I certainly didn't like, but other bits in this show are legendary. And obviously we can even do season 2. So we're getting quite a few comments here. So we're just Star Wars Nerd 00. Hello there. Oh, I actually think I have a sound thing for this. So
hello there.
Yeah.
And we've got a few comments saying, Cole saying even my grandma loves Ahsoka, fair.
Shout out grandma.
Soundwave Superior saying if Star Wars show is good, it shouldn't need old characters to return. But that's part of what makes them good as well. In the fact that you've got those characters that you know and love and that they're carrying on, aren't they? So you want to see new characters, you want to see new eras of Star Wars, but sometimes you want to have that nostalgia and have that love for the characters you already know and love coming back and having new stories. So, what have you got in at number 5?
Okay, so I'm putting the best Star Wars show at number 5. Does that make sense?
Ooh, okay.
No, but it does. So I'm gonna go with Andor. Now, I understand that Andor is the best Disney Star Wars show. And I mean, you can put it in all ranks of television, and it does numbers. I mean, the numbers don't lie. All the ratings of the last, what was it, 5 episodes, they were just damn near impeccable. I would agree. I think for me, I probably won't rewatch this one a lot, but there will be times where this is going to hit different. But I think there's already nostalgia behind watching Andor, going from season 2, watching the finale, going into Rogue One, and then going into A New Hope. It literally is like some of the best continuation, and it's just insane to think something that came out in 2025 can literally be that missing puzzle piece going back to something that came out in 1977. I mean, the acting was amazing, the cast perfect, some of the arcs, the Gorman massacre, all those different, just to name one of the biggest arcs from that, is just it was done so well that I was almost just left speechless afterwards. Like, I really didn't even know what to say. I think it was just a stab in the gut when we saw Bix holding Andor's child. That's something he would never know. And
Ridiculous.
Us at home are just like, God damn it, why? So I think it's a really, really good show. But for me, there's 4 other series that are better. But I will always and forever give its respect at being the best Star Wars series out there.
Okay. Just because Star Wars Nerd asks is ranking all the shows or just live action. It is all of them, buddy. So we're doing the animated ones as alongside live action. But I'll jump on this as well because I have Andor at number 4 on my list. So since we were going to be jumping from 5 to 4 next time, I'll jump into it now with Andor. Andor's number 4 on my list. Is it the best Star Wars show overall? No, because that's why it's at number 4 on my list. It has some of the best moments, again, because this is a show that isn't about the Jedi or the Sith. It's about the rebellion and the build up to it, and how it basically is obviously the birth and the backstory of the rebellion, even though that we see some of that in Rebels as well. We see some of it in other stuff. But to me, the 2 series of Andor we got, both are slow burners in a way, because the first half of both those series almost take too long to get going in a way. Yeah. It's almost too spread out. The fact that they're slow burners is what helps it in the second half of each of those series, because it built up everything to get to those points. Yeah. But if someone sat down, I can imagine quite a few people probably watched the first half of season 1 and went, "What is all the fuss about? Why did everyone talk about it being great?" Because it didn't really get going properly until the prison stuff kicks off. And the same with season 2, in the fact that it builds up, and it's the time jumps made it a bit too distorted maybe, and they're leaving things hanging in the balance, and then all of a sudden you're then a year on, and it doesn't really kick off until the Gorman massacre.
Right.
So for me, that's why it sits at number 4, is because the second half of each of those series is amazing, especially season 2 as well. I think with obviously the season 1 prison stuff, One Way Out, all that stuff, it is epic. And then season 2 leading up to obviously what happens in going into Rogue One, but obviously the Gorman massacre, all that stuff tied in does make it really good. But to me, if it's the top show in all of Star Wars, then the first half of the season wouldn't have been the way that they were. You can't sacrifice half a season just to build up anticipation for something. You need to tell a story that's still riveting in that first half, and to me, doesn't quite hit on those notes. But it's still epic. That's why it's top 4.
Yeah.
What have you got number 4?
Number 4, we're going to go with the Kenobi series. It kind of hurts that in my list it's a little low here, but that's fine. I really, really enjoyed seeing some of my 2 favorite characters in all of Star Wars return: Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen. The Omega of my childhood. Seeing those 2 on screen again, I felt some type of way. I remember they released the premiere a couple hours early, and they, I think that was the first series where they did a double episode premiere, I believe. But that was, amazing. I was like, perfect. So is the nostalgia behind it, were there some flat moments? Yes. But I feel like for the most part, it did such a great way of helping me as a fan understand that Darth Vader is Anakin Skywalker. Mm-hmm. And the entire dialogue in the final episode between, Obi-Wan and Anakin /Vader, like that was just like a tearjerker as well, where you're just really trying to hold it back, but you're just like, this sucks. They did a really good job. I really think you can just feel Obi-Wan's pain. He's not the only one that is hurting, just like Anakin / Vader, but always love that episode. Love the Quinlan reference. Love the path being introduced. Love, and I feel like even when we got a trailer and there's, rumors about the plot, I always remembered reading that one of the Inquisitors would be getting, a bigger role. And I thought this was going to be the fifth brother. I think the fifth brother looks really cool. Very different character. I didn't really like him in Rebels a lot just because he's annoying, but it makes sense for the character that he is. But yeah, so I figured he would get more limelight, but it was Reva, and I think Moses Ingram killed it. I just felt like I kind of expected one of the Inquisitors to get, a lot of role with Kenobi and Vader on top of that. So, and then young Leia getting a lot of time kind of shocked me, because I thought we were going to see more young Luke. But if it was the other way around, it really wouldn't make sense. It kind of has to show Kenobi get off world and, do stuff like that. Yeah. So I like that show a lot. I actually just rewatched that 2 weeks ago. So, just kind of rewatching a lot of Star Wars right now. And I will say it hits harder every single watch through. So, yeah.
What have you got in at number 3 then? Top 3, the big ones. Here we go. What have you got number 3?
All right, top 3. We got the Clone Wars. I didn't really care for it at first. When I first heard of Ahsoka Tano, I was like, nope, get it off.
Sorry, just a kid going. I'd expect Anakin to shank a person better, but Reva persists. Just
no, that's
he had 2 stabs at her and he couldn't kill her off. So
I know. Is Vader really the Vader we think he is? Like, come on. But
sorry to cut you off there. I thought that was funny.
No, you're good. That is funny. I actually went straight to Reddit just to kind of bounce back a little bit. I went to Reddit to kind of understand why Reva was able to get away from the first time being stabbed, especially as a child. And I couldn't really find too much on it, but hey, it happened. I feel like a lot of heads were in the writing studios and were like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So cool, it happened, whatever. But yeah, that's so funny because I remember watching her get stabbed the second time, and I was just like, why? Everyone stabs and lives. But yeah, it's just a fun time, funny stuff. But yeah, the Clone Wars for me. I like I said, I didn't like it at first. And it took Mando season 1 to make me watch the first 6 seasons, because I think
really
season 7 was coming out during the same time Mando did, so, or just right around that time. But yeah, it's really good. I will say there's a lot of filler episodes. That's what happens in those longer animated style series. But I think some of the arcs outweigh everything. 5s, for instance, beautiful. You really get the feelings. The little Bad Batch arc was okay. 99. Just the Siege of Mandalore. The Mortis arc, like, how can I forget that one? Which I was not a huge fan of the Mortis arc at the beginning either. It took a second time for me to watch it and be like, wow, okay, so this makes a lot more sense. But yeah, I think it's really cool. Mostly it's about Anakin and Ahsoka and Obi-Wan for the most part, but there's so many arcs in there of characters. They each get more. And yeah, that's what you can appreciate from the Clone Wars. And I really hope that the sequels get a Clone Wars series, kind of the same way, so it can just enhance the sequel trilogy a little bit, because that's how I look at the Clone Wars, is it enhances the prequel trilogy in many ways. But yeah, so top 3, number 3 going with the Clone Wars.
Fair. And Cole's saying that the Yoda arc is so underrated.
Oh yeah,
I guessing he's talking season 6, the Yoda arc, to finish off what they thought was going to be the end originally of the show. But I'll get to Clone Wars because it's not on my number 3. I've got number 3. I've got Rebels. I look at Rebels and Clone Wars in a similar vein in terms of season 1 of both shows were very slow and not the greatest. But both shows ramp up as each season goes on. Rebels does that for me in terms of it gets better as it goes on. Yeah, Ezra's a whiny little git. He's a whiny little teenager, so you can let that fly for the most part. A lot of people say that Kanan is one of the greatest Jedi for the way that he handled himself during this time and the way that he progressed himself throughout his story. Some people say they don't like season 4 because it goes too off the wall, especially with the introduction of the world between worlds and the wolves and all that sort of business. But I to me, that added to the lore of the Force. And I absolutely loved it. And obviously, Kanan's death is one of the most emotional moments in all of Star Wars for me. When I did my May the 4th episode last year, when we did the greatest scenes in all of Star Wars, I had it as an honourable mention. I didn't get it in my top 5, but it was definitely an honourable mention for me, because even now, I'm 41 years old, and I watch it back, and I still get a fucking lump in my throat and feel like I'm going to cry. So it's definitely one of those ones for me that it hits a lot of spots, and it's, again, because it's an animated show, it's not necessarily my favorite thing. I'm not a huge animated fan, but it's something that I can go back and watch again, and because it's one of those ones that leads right up to the to obviously the original trilogy as well, and it does leave the writers scrambling a bit, because they've had to come up with ways to say, well, where are these characters during the original trilogy? And so they've made little things now to show that Hera's around and she's in the background and stuff. And obviously Ezra's in a different galaxy. Sabine's doing other stuff, and apparently training with Ahsoka now, and all that sort of business. But at the same point, it has some epic storytelling.
Yeah.
And the Batwonk was saying that one of my favourite things in Rebels is that Imperial officer getting demoted again and again. Yeah, because he keeps getting done over by Ezra every time. So, or Jabba the Hutt, is it?
Yeah, Jabba. Yeah, that's so funny.
Like I was saying, that Kanan really drew the short straw and turned out so well, and Ezra too. I feel you, Andy. So, yeah, it's just one of those characters to me that he's a great character, and his death was a very emotional one. Especially, obviously they played at the heartstrings where the music was epic. His eyesight coming back right at the minute. Obviously, the show in general bringing Ahsoka back for the first time since the Clone Wars, and obviously Rex as well, Maul as well. Just all these characters we got back from the Clone Wars, which is no surprise, being that Dave Filoni was at the helm. But obviously, the end of season 2 arc, the Twilight of the Apprentice. Ahsoka versus Vader, absolutely fucking epic. So there are so many great moments in the show. I think it deserved, for me personally, I think it deserves a top 3 spot. I'm going to go in for my number 2, which was one that you've just talked about, which is the Clone Wars. I really battled hard between my 1 and 2. I really wanted to put this number 1, but I felt like, again, there are a lot of random episodes in this that are just a bit like meh.
Yeah.
But it has so many worthy moments and so many great arcs that it's so close to being that number 1 spot, and for me, the greatest Star Wars TV show. It introduces obviously a lot more of the Jedi and other characters that we see throughout Star Wars, and especially obviously the prequels, and we just don't get to know very well, and we get to know more about them. It throws in. You've already mentioned some of the arcs. Some of the season 7 Siege of Mandalore focused a bit too much on Ahsoka for my liking, considering it's supposed to be the end of the Clone Wars TV show, and it just focused on Ahsoka really and Rex. It could have focused on the wider conflict, and obviously ties into episode 3, which is nice, but to me it was a bit too much. But it's still I think those first 3 episodes of that finale are absolutely epic. As you mentioned, the Mortis arc. For me, the Umbaran arc with Pon Krell and the 501st, one of the greatest arcs of the Clone Wars as well. We've already talked about season 6. I think obviously both in there, the Yoda arc and the Fives arc, learning about the control chips. My boy Fives, feel you, buddy. It's just, to me, it's a worthy show to be in the top performing. It fights for that number 1 spot for me, but just sort of misses out, simply because season 1 was dull, and there are just some random episodes like Rush Clovis didn't need to have all that business with him in there just to make Anakin jealous. Yes, Anakin's got metal arm, it's going to hurt when he punches you, it doesn't need the Force to do that. But some really good other bits in it as well. Like, great to see a lot more Grievous in there, since we didn't really get a lot of them in live action in general. So yeah, to me, a worthy spot up there. What's your number 2?
Ooh, number 2 is going to be Ahsoka. I think it's a really, really good show. I think what they're leading into is something that can be very, very good. Balin and Shin, the best side characters in all of anything, in my opinion. I think they really, really hit the notch there. I can't wait to see them continued. I think Ahsoka's a really good character now. You know, I wasn't the biggest fan of her in the Clone Wars, Rebels at the time, but I mean, going forward, the Ahsoka series makes me like Rebels more. But it can kind of be said in both sides. So like even like Rebels can make me like Ahsoka more. I feel like there's a lot that weighs in. Man, I just think it's setting up big. I think Thrawn is just going to be this. I think he's just going to win over and over and over again until, you know, the Heir to the Empire film or the Dave Filoni film, how it all wraps up. And I think Thrawn is just going to be the force to be reckoned with that we see in Rebels, but even on a different scale now. He actually has an army. He has the witches at his disposal, it looks like. And I mean, who else? Who are they going to? I mean, the Night Sisters resurrect people all the time. Who's next? So, well, I mean, we'll see. I think it's one of those series that we've had ranked here that's not even over yet. So we don't even know what's next. It's not concluded, but true. I think Ahsoka is a good number 2 spot, and I think it's going to do great things going forward. So excited to see that.
Sweet. That leaves just the number 1 spot. By my calculations, we both have the same show at number 1. Because it's the only one neither of us have mentioned yet. So by tactical deduction, it means the number 1 spot for both of us goes to The Mandalorian. Tell me why it's number 1 for you.
Ah, man. Okay, so real quick and simple. I mean, guys, look at the name. Brandalorian, Mandalorian. Come on. Absolutely love it. Got Grogu tatted right here. The Mandalorian sits real heavy with me because it brought me back to Star Wars. It's not like I ever left or was a grifter or anything like that for a while. I just didn't. There's a period from like The Last Jedi to 2019. Obviously, Rise of Skywalker came out, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go see these because I like Star Wars. But I wasn't watching it every day like I used to when I was a kid. And even now, like I feel like there's like a little 5, 6, 7 year gap where I just was not watching Star Wars religiously. And The Mandalorian brought me back in. There's so much surrounding it. I think it's just such a good show. I think Grogu is, he could be the longest tenured Star Wars character for the longest time. They live up to 900 years old. He's cute. Everyone knows him. It's like, I feel like he's like Michael Jackson in a sense. Everyone knows who he is. But Din Djarin, great Mandalorian, great character. This also pulls in other characters like Boba Fett. If it wasn't for the Mandalorian, then Boba Fett wouldn't be back. You could say maybe the same for Bo-Katan. The armor is a cool Mandalorian. Paz Vizsla, seeing Luke come back. It's just in that really, really good time period, 6 years after Return of the Jedi. I'm here for it. And also the Mandalorian has an entire like its own timeline, the Mandoverse. It's so good that it has its own timeline of shows. Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, Mando, Skeleton Crew. Even just on our personal list, we had Skeleton Crew pretty low. But it's going to play a part into Mando's story, into Grogu, to Bo-Katan, all of them. So who knows? Maybe Neil will beat up Din Djarin and he will take the I almost said he's going to take the Darksaber, but that thing's broken. So we'll see what happens. Really, really cool things in that timeline, and can't wait to see. Oh yeah, they're furry. Real furry. Awkward. It's like Peli. Come on, girl. Like Peli Moto, you cannot tell me. I'm watching this with my family. You can't tell me that Jawas are furry.
Mando! They hate you, Mando. No, they don't. We love Mando. Number 1 spot for me. Absolutely on the nose. A lot of people say it's gone a little bit downhill in season 3. I don't believe that, really. I'd love to see more lore about the Mandalorians and obviously Mandalore itself. Yeah. Season 2 has probably one of the greatest finales of maybe all of the Star Wars TV shows. the rescue on Moff Gideon's ship, and Luke Skywalker turning up, and the Death Troopers, and everything that went with that. The girl crew all together, the Mandalorian girl crew. It's absolutely epic. You've said most of it, to be fair. Mandalorian Grogu, the greatest combination that I've probably seen in Star Wars for a long time. It reignited a lot of passion for a lot of Star Wars fans, because we'd had a lull from the Rise of Skywalker and the sequels ending, where people weren't exactly happy with the state of Star Wars at that point. So to go back in the timeline, but make it so it's not crossing over necessarily with any of the big events. It's its own timeline period, and it's developed its own timeline period with all the other shows, as you said. But introducing some of the greatest characters, bringing back characters like, because we were talking, you mentioned obviously Mando Grogu, the Armorer, Grief Karga. And then reintroducing people like Bo-Katan as well. But obviously, introduced them Moff Gideon, Paz Vizsla even, which turned out to be a good guy in the end.
I didn't like him. I was like, you suck.
Star Wars needed Daddy Pedro. Yes, they did. Absolutely. It's, to me, it's just, it was so close with Clone Wars about which one I put top. But I thought this one just pips it, because I'm not even sure I can name why I just put it up with Clone Wars when I thought they were so even in my mind, but just something about Mando makes you feel good that it's Star Wars without even needing to be Star Wars. It brought back the dark saber as well, which I've got a dark saber as well, and I love that bad boy. And I've got a speaking Grogu as well. He's so fucking cute. He's such a cute little bugger.
Oh, and he has the mythosaur.
He's so cute. Wow. This guy is probably one of the reasons why is the Mando's number one for so many people anyway, just on his own. But yeah, so there's so many reasons why Mando hits the number one spot. It just touches all the buttons in terms of it feels like Star Wars. The new characters, the returning characters, the setting, all the Mandalorians involved, the Mando armor. I've got a bunch of Mando helmets sat behind me, so I think it sits worthy at the number one spot. And I think just keeps on going.
You got a lot to say.
So I absolutely love Mando. I think it's a deserved spot at number one. And I don't see. All right, buddy, calm down now. I don't see anything else topping it for a while. I'm not even sure. Season 2 of Ahsoka could be the greatest series of all Star Wars, and I don't think it would quite pit Mando just yet for me. I'd say I hope the film next year does not let us down. I hope it doesn't feel like an episode of Mando in terms of they've got some tasks to do at the beginning that they agree to do. They agree to help somebody else, and somebody else helps them. I want to see Thrawn in this film. I want to see. We're going to see some. We've already seen a couple of bad boy bits that's going to happen, like blowing up an AT-AT and things like that. I just hope it's not a letdown just for the sake of it, because we need to see them be epic in this film, and we need to see them be epic in the Thrawn finale bit. So.
I'm really hoping that the leaked trailer, I'm really hoping that that's like the first 5 minutes. I hope it goes straight into that. You got to set the tone. You got asses in seats. They're going to see that right off the bat. I think that's going to be really good. But yeah, I'm really hoping it's not just these, I'm just hoping it's not like 2 or 3 episodes put together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make it feel like a movie, make it flesh out. Especially like, that's the thing I always think too, is like Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, they made 2 amazing seasons. The 3rd season has 1 episode where I'm just like, okay, we could have lived without that. But I mean, all film, all TV has those moments, That's why I can never ever complain, because I'm also a Walking Dead fan where 3/4 of it is filler, So it's fine. It's all good. But yeah, I mean, yeah. So they made 3 great seasons, and I feel like, I mean, why don't you take all of that success and throw it into a movie? And I mean, the better you make it, the more, the way it's received will be just insane, because there's going to be people who aren't even Star Wars fans that will be there just because of freaking Grogu. I mean, you gotta capitalize on that. So I'm hoping to see I want to see Thrawn in there too. I feel like he almost has to be in there. It sets the tone going forward, and especially with Ahsoka season 2 coming out next year, it can kind of link those two together. So I think it'd be Mando, man, number 1.
Absolutely. I mean, I didn't even mention the fact that we get the return of Boba Fett. Technically, it comes in Mandalorian. We get the Razor Crest. We get the redone M1 Starfighter. Technically, that came in Boba Fett series, but we got it in this. Obviously, does it in this. As well as the Mythosaur we finally get to see. And just, there's so many great things about Mando. It's unbelievable. Deserved number 1 spot here. And that just about wraps it up for our Star Wars TV show ranking list. All 13 shows, 13 to 1. And the last one and the first one, the only ones we agreed on, I think.
We had a couple that were one off, though. So
yeah, close.
For the most part, I feel like we have the same opinions. Except for Rebels, we were like kind of polar opposite, but that's okay.
And I think, and Boba Fett, to be fair, I think we were quite far on that one. But I know you love Boba Fett that much, so that's absolutely it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, thank you.
Maybe next year, depending on when it comes out, we can revisit this and add Maul Shadow Lord into it.
True. Yeah, more Shadow Lord. Season 2 of Ahsoka should be out by then as well. That might affect the ranking of, where I put it anyway, because I had it in 5th. So, we can definitely shoehorn them in and see where we end up with them going. So, and of course, you might have rewatched some of them, and some might go up, some might go down. So, absolutely fine.
That's one thing I will tell you guys. If you don't like a show, just try to rewatch it, because it could spark some more interest. I mean, I've been through that twice with the Clone Wars, Rebels, the Acolyte. I just rewatching the Acolyte, I was like, damn, I already like this show, but now I give it like an 8 out of 10, so just go check it out, and just if you like something, if you like it, if you don't, you don't. That's okay.
Fair. But Brandon, thank you for joining everybody on this lovely Sunday to do this ranking list. Just tell everyone again quickly exactly where they can find you online.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I always miss going live with you, man. Always a good time. Talk some good Star Wars. We'll have to do this again shortly as well. But yeah, everyone, Clan Brandalorian, go find me. Lore Theory, Funko, Lego, anything, all Star Wars. Follow me on Instagram, YouTube, of course. Subscribe. Just made a Twitter the other day. I have 2 followers. Make it more. And then
is that your mum and your wife?
No, it's a friend I met on Xbox, and then one of them's a bot. So I got one bot and one real person. But yeah, go check that out. And then also TikTok, just posting a lot of clips on there. So yeah, go check that out, guys.
Well, you posted your films ranking list the other day, I saw as well. So
I did.
So no love for the animated Clone Wars film. It's fine. Didn't even appear on the list.
Oh yeah, no, not even on there. I think it was called,
that's how good it was. It just wasn't even on there. Solo, rightfully bottom. Let's just leave that there. Of course, Galactic Core Podcast. Find us on I don't even know anymore where you can find me. Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcast. Sorry, Amazon Music. Wherever you find your podcast, you'll find us there. That's it for this week. I'll be back Monday, a week tomorrow. Is it Sunday today? With my Fantastic Four review that's out in in about 4 or 5 days' time. I'm really looking forward to that, to be fair. So it's been a busy week. Superman last week, we've got Star Wars this week, and then next week Marvel. So I'm really jumping around at the moment from brand to brand. It's all been good. But thank you very much, everyone. That brings this week to an end. So all we've got left to say is, as always,
the Force will be with you, always.
Thanks for tuning in to the Galactic Core Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. But until next time, go get your geek on.